Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a friendly reminder to not be like me. If you need to record something, and you do, make sure that you're not muted. So, here's take two, or probably three, of me tackling this video because I'm a fucking goober. I want to talk about Retaliation Cadre, and, well, assuming that future me has put in the thumbnail where we're going with this, but really quickly to give an overview as to why we're here. Retaliation Cadre has been picking up some, I guess you could say, speed. People are finally realizing things about Retaliation Cat. Like, oh, it's good, which we all knew in the beginning when the Codex first dropped. And then we seem to forgot because it was like, oh, wait, Monka's good. And it's like, oh, wait, Calion's good again. What do you mean Kroot's good too? So we seem to have circled back to Red Cat. And I want to talk about something that you don't necessarily need to do because it's doing fine on its own, but probably some things that are interesting and how I've come to discover this as somebody that does not play Tau. Obligatory, hey, I don't play Tau. That's not one of my main armies, so if I'm chatting shit, go ahead to let me know in the comments and like be like, hey, bro, you kind of fucking suck. That's not how things work. So, Red Cat, looking through the list, it seems to be a yay or nay on some of the units that I would assume are auto includes from the outside looking in. Some of them had Farsight, some of them didn't. None of them had one of the characters in the thumbnail today, out of just those quick ones. We'll do another row just to get a better overview, right? Make it fair, right? We got one. But for the most part, no. And then looking at them, I was like, well, what does Red Cat want? You want battle shoots? And this is the other thing that's blowing my mind. Everybody's like, wow, we have an aggressive detachment. That's not Macaw. It's like, no shit. Honestly, like, thinking about them, 3 out of 4 are. Red Cat. Each time a battle shoot model from your army makes a ranged attack that targets a unit within 12, improve the strength characteristic of that attack by 1. If that attack targets a unit by within 6 inches, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1 as well. Like, I don't know why it's a fucking epiphany for everybody right now that this wanted you to get aggressive and get in there. It wasn't like a, hey, maybe when it's turn 3, you turn on and like start activating shit. No, it's not like a failsafe. This is fucking. If you get in there and just start beating their ass, you'll like beat their ass. So I don't know what that's all about. But suffice to say, I've noticed that Red Cat is probably the perfect blend of Monka and Kalyan. First off, if we look at Bringers of Flame, in which it's get assault and then +1 strength within 12, they split out that between the Tau with Monka and Red Cat. So that should have also been like a ding ding ding. You probably want to get up there. But also, looking at the units to which Utal players have access to, it's very interesting. And if somebody can tell me the lore reason in the comments or the non-lore reason, I found it funny that you have Shadowsun, an infiltrator, that, from what I understood, is Kalyan, excuse me. And you have Farsight, a deep striker, who's better for Ka, or who leads Ka. But then, if you're deep striking, you're kind of blowing one of your first 3 turns for Ka. And if you're waiting to turn on in turn 3, you being out there ready because you infiltrated doesn't make much sense to me. So that's why looking at some of those lists, you'll see that in Kalyan, yeah, there's some Shadowsun there. And this was also kind of like, yeah, there's staples. That's how you do it, right? You got Farsight over there, and you just go about it. But then the stranger one was Monka. Fire Blades, Shadowsun. Huh. Shadowsun? Huh. Shadowsun. So, like, you all already figured that out to where it's like, yeah, we should probably switch the detachments that they quote unquote lead. You already figured that out as Tal players. So now I'm curious why nobody figured out putting both of them as battle shoots in Red Cat. Might be good. And I shouldn't say figured out because I don't know if it's good. But you all have brought them another list very similar because Tal bring battle shoots. So it's just like, if you're one recruit unit, oh wait, they never get ruined. So it's just like, it's the same list pretty much that you're bringing in Red Cat that you were bringing in Montcall or uh, Kalyan. Like for the vast majority, maybe less gunships and breachers, but beyond that, same units. And then going towards that, right? I looked at Shadow Sun's rules, and I was like, wait, hold on, this is turbo, and what you want to do in Red Cat? Fall back and shoot? Huh? That'd be pretty dope if I end up getting close because I'm in combat. Huh? That'd be nice, especially given that you're not a vehicle, so you don't get big guns never tire. Unless that's a rule that I'm missing. Unless there's like a FAQ somewhere that's like, yeah, Shadow Sun gets big guns never tire. Uh, yeah. I mean, you have your pistol, but outside of that, no. Yeah, fall back and shoot would be nice for that. And then Hero of the Empire, Aura. While a friendly Tau Empire unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Reroll hit rolls of 1, plus 1 strength, plus 1 AP. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, especially when you have a infiltrating lone op that. Oh, the other reason why Shadow Sun even became in this part of the discussion, I was like, well, do people bring ghost kills in Red Cat? Like that seemed like you would be covering your weaknesses instead of like buffing your strength. Like that seems like a good idea, right? Lone op 12 inches, and then when they finally get within 12 to start shooting you, you punch them even fucking harder. And you have 2 blanks. Yeah, that just makes sense, right? And yeah, apparently it does make sense. You all are bringing ghost kill. So this one had like 2, and it's also funny seeing the fluctuation between 2 1 2 1 1 if I remember correctly. Um yeah. To which yep. It's like okay, so clearly that's not too much of a dumbass idea from a non-Tau player. Um yeah. Like surely we go there. So why not add another battle shoot lone op that can do that? And then the other thing about Shadow Sun being infantry, if you want, Torch Star Gambit, one Tau Empire battleship unit from your army that can fly, whose attacks have been resolved this phase during your shooting phase. If your unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can make a normal move. If it does, your unit cannot declare charge this turn. Yeah, you could just fucking scoot and shoot. And I mean like the safe version of scoot and shoot. Like you know you can get past the wall or the ruin again. Like you know you can get back over it versus like a do I have 6 inches to get back in there? I think I should, but I'm a vehicle, so maybe not. But like, yeah, do it on Shadow Sun, who is giving you an aura of reroll hit rolls of 1. Then the other thing about Shadow Sun, well, subtract 1 from the wound roll if you get a ranged attack incoming, also dope. And then command link drone aura. While a friendly Tau Empire unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time you select that unit as the target of a stratagem, roll 1d6 on a 5 up, you gain 1 CP. Now, they finally fixed Pure Tide Engram Neurochip, which after data balance slate, there we go, those are the words, you ended up not doing anything because they were like, yeah, you can't repeat a stratagem if you didn't name it or whatever, right? So they fixed it. They were like, how about um on a unit roll 1d6 on a 4 up, you gain 1 CP. So now, of course, 4 is better than 5. 4 ups are better than 5 ups. Only works for 1 unit. But the other thing that I've come to understand from what I hear tell players grievances on the detachment. Not necessarily the worst thing ever, but that it's a little bit more CP intensive because you have good stratagems and you would like to keep using the good stratagems. So giving yourself more chances to get the CP back sounds pretty fucking sick nasty given all the things you want to do. So, hey, of course, if you get 1 CP, you've invalidated your 25-point enhancement. But at the same time, I'd rather have the chances of more CP than being upset about 25 points, usually. But then again, if you're bringing that at all. Then going over to Farsight, I'm like, alright, you just auto slam Farsight, right? Because while this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit within 9 inches, add 1 to the wound roll. Then Pure Tide's teachings. Once per battle round, you can target this model's unit with a stratagem if it does reduce the cost of that CP of that stratagem by 1 CP. Perfect. You got Shadowsight helping you gen CP. You got Farsight helping you keep CP, especially when you can do a 3-inch deep strike with the shortened blade and reduce this from 2 to 1, right? If you use this on his unit, where you get a 3-inch deep strike. Can't declare a charge, but +1 to wound, +1 strength, +1 AP, maybe even re-rolling hit rolls of 1. Sounds pretty nice. Let's pull these up real quick, because I'm pretty sure one of these re-roll something. So probably don't want to use that one. Because if I'm being honest, I kind of just get shot by them. Yeah, okay, so if you're not using the fire knives, makes sense. On to Farsight, pretty darn good. But yeah, I'd say suffice to say, I'd pay 1 CP for a 3-inch deep strike, +1 wound, +1 strength, +1 AP, re-rolling ones, re-rolling ones, or maybe re-rolling ones and re-rolling wounds and damage roll. Like, who knows, right? The sky's the limit on that one, apparently. So, I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Ghost Kill, I had to bring it up, so that's why it's up. But yeah, I was like, yeah, that seems turbo. The interesting thing that I will get to though is that if I remember correctly, I want to say it was Kyle Grundy talking about Red Cat on the Art of War Down Under latest state of the super faction Xeno. So I think it might have been when he was on Tau Tactics or somebody else. I usually would have those pulled up, but this is a pivot I wasn't really thinking about. Uh, yeah, was like, yeah, I don't really like the Riptide and Red Cat. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it might have been Montcalm, but let's look at the list real quick because I thought that was interesting. Where okay, you got 2 Riptides, 2 Riptides there, 2 Riptides there, 1 Riptide, Riptide. And just to real quick, not to be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Of course, he knows what he's talking about. And again, maybe I am misremembering, and he was talking about Monka. Somebody go back and be like, you're a dumbass for thinking that. But I just want to say, bringing Riptides into this detachment with ignore mods, death wounds, fall back and shoot. Well, death wounds for once per battle, of course. Next to Shadow Sun, re-rolling hit rolls of 1. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. So this video more so is bring Shadow Sun and Farsight from all the things I can see on paper. You're already bringing triple fucking stealth battle shoots. I think you can afford to take 1 unit out and maybe an enhancement or some shit and put in good old Shadow Sun. Whatever you need to do, get her done. But yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.